Football is back! That's it for the news. Let's talk about the Lions versus the Chiefs. So much to discuss. We are obviously going to talk about Tavis Kelce, but let's go through our must-starts, mid-starts, don't-starts, Noah.
Yeah, well, I think before we jump into much more of the Thursday Night Football breakdown, we got to get one thing out of the way because we got to talk about this. This is going to be what everyone is talking about based off of this game.
Yeah.
Does Kadarius Toney want a career in the NFL?
One of the worst games I've seen a single player have. It was so bad. Legitimately, you and I were texting like, just cut him. Here's the thing. He was a my guy for me in the offseason. I was like, oh, let me take a shot on the wide receiver one for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the surgery happened, and I was like, all right, I'm out. Let's just see what happens. Hey, very good call, Noah, to say let's not start Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers because one of them hates the NFL. He hates Mahomes. He was like, I won Super Bowl. You don't need any more. I'm done. Sorry.
Tony is just, it was almost, not almost, it was laughable how poorly he was playing in this game. And really I don't want to start up the Thursday Night Football recap on a sour note, but like how poorly like almost all of these Chiefs pass catchers were. Like it was just all over the place. And I mean, I think in the first half, Patrick Mahomes had completed 12 passes to 8 different pass catchers. It was just, and that is exactly why we said, don't start any of these guys. You don't know who it's going to be. I had somebody in a dynasty league that I was playing in be like, oh man, should have started Rashee Rice. And I'm like, what? Why? Yes, I get, no. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no plausible reason for you to have done that. All these pass catchers are all over the place. We are cautiously optimistic with the Chiefs that Tavis Kelce will be back next week because I'll say it. I mean, the Lions played a fantastic game. Lions defense did very good, but my goodness. Hard for me to believe the Chiefs lose that game if Tavis Kelce's playing just based off the amount of crucial drops that were committed in this game. I mean, I think Sky Moore ran 27 routes and didn't have a single catch. I don't know how many targets he ended up with. Three targets. I mean, so I guess not much to go off of there, but there were a few that it was just like, man, this is just kind of ridiculous. I mean, shout out Marquez Valdes-Scantling for making probably the catch of the game. But man, these Chiefs pass catchers, we hope you listened, and we hope you didn't start them because this was just a bloodbath and not a fun kind. I don't know if there is a fun kind of bloodbath. I don't know. Nothing positive really to take away. I mean, listen, if you're looking already for a waiver wire pickup and you want to hedge your bets here, maybe Rashee Rice. Maybe Rashee Rice has a good connection there. To me, it kind of felt like Rashee Rice maybe played into the game well with Mahomes as Mahomes was improvising. Rashee Rice found a way to get himself into some open space, which is great for a receiver to do. But this is just the highest pass catcher had 11.6 points, and it was Rashee Rice. So I don't know how much we're taking away from this.
Without Tavis Kelce, this team looks beatable. Their offense looks vulnerable. Their offensive line didn't look that great. There was this lineman, number 74, that was like false starting the entire game, which was very funny to me.
Only one call, as far as I know. The crucial call on that fourth
the last call to extend
only one call I saw. I mean, you got to credit Aiden Hutchinson on that a little bit because that tackle was just trying to get a little bit of an edge on Hutchinson there. Yeah. Hutchinson was all over Mahomes pretty much for the game. I don't know how many sacks he ended up with. If he didn't even end up with a sack because Mahomes somehow gets rid of that football pretty quickly. But
maybe one sack.
Hutchinson had some pressure there. But this Chiefs team is listen, I don't want to overreact. The Lions are good. It's not like the Texans came in
Week 1
and beat them, and it's week 1. But they got to get Tavis Kelce back on this team. And listen, they'll get back on track. I mean, the Lions are a good team. The Lions, fun fact, Vegas sportsbooks, Wes, the top 3 teams in the NFC, probably by most people's saying or calling, would be Eagles, 49ers, and maybe the Cowboys. Maybe those
Cowboys.
top 3. Right. Vegas sportsbooks have the Detroit Lions as number 4 to win the conference, to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. So this team is good.
Wow.
This team is good, but let's not overreact on the Chiefs. I think when they get Kelce back, we'll see a little bit of maybe even a lot of a difference here. The impact that Tavis Kelce has, not just being able to catch the football, but where the defense needs to look and where other guys could get free and open up space.
Yeah.
It can't go unstated. So we'll have to see, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just tie a bow on it because those are our don't starts for all the Chiefs wide receivers. Then we'll go to our other starts that we mentioned because if anything, we were going to try to learn who was Mahomes' favorite target, especially without Kelce, and the answer is nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, the most anybody saw was 5 targets, and that's nothing to start. Nobody wants to start a receiver that only gets 5 targets.
Right.
Yeah. It's and people were rushing to go get Noah Gray because they thought he was going to be the tight end that was going
And
to
then he doesn't even catch the touchdown.
No, it was Blake Bell, of course.
Blake Bell catches the touchdown.
Obviously, don't you even watch Fourth and Control? We've been talking about him all offseason.
I had some coworkers today come to me and be like, "Hey, I got Kelce. I went and picked up Noah Gray. I mean, like, and I was like, I don't think you should do that. I don't know if that should be the case. I mean, I just explained. I just said, listen, Kelce and Mahomes have the connection. It's not like a Kelce goes to the tight end thing. Like it was like there were a combined 5 catches between all the tight ends, and it's just I hope you weren't just quick to have Noah Gray be a replacement there. But those are our don't starts. We hope you listen on that, and we hope you if you didn't and you took your shot, we hope it was on Rashee Rice because that would be the one person you took your shot on. So I want to talk about one more Kansas City Chief real quick in this little bit where we're reviewing kind of what we talked about on Tuesday.
Sure.
Because I said you can get a little bit risky with Isaiah Pacheco. And if you did, listen, I don't think you're too upset, okay? 9.4 points is not a bad day for a flex play. My projection for him was I think he gets you 12 or 13 points. And he came about 3 or 4 yards shy of getting into the end zone at one point, and I was really hoping. I was like, "Oh, come on, get in there!" And they would have hit that for sure. But listen, I think if you played Isaiah Pacheco, you were in a situation where you needed somebody to fill in that could do a decent job for you. Is what I talked about. And 9.4 points, I don't think is a disappointment or anything like that. I don't know, Wes. What do you think?
And no, I totally agree, especially when you look at the way that Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire were used. Because the first quarter, it was like, oh my gosh, how many more running backs are going to get in the backfield? Right. And then it was almost exclusively Pacheco. We don't have the snap percentage and snap counts just yet, but Pacheco was on the field for majority of the game, 3/4 of the game. Edwards-Helaire had a little bit in the fourth quarter, which was strange. And I was reading.
It was very early too. It was like the first drive. I was like, okay, that
very
was Clyde
early,
in the
very
first play, and then it was like, okay, that was Clyde. Okay, we haven't seen Pacheco on this drive yet. Like, what? Like, hang on, are we all dumb? Like, should we have all drafted Clyde? Is that what's going to happen here? No, it's not. Pacheco is their RB1 for sure, but this did show us, at least in my opinion, Wes, that this is a true committee. Everyone is going to have a small role. If I were ranking the committee, it would be kind of how probably you drafted these guys. It would be Pacheco, McKinnon, and then Clyde.
Absolutely.
But that's I don't know. That's my thoughts on it.
I was reading in Kansas City camp that some people were speculating Clyde Edwards-Helaire could have been cut. Like that's how low he is on the totem pole. So don't mistake any of this tandem as Clyde Edwards-Helaire has any significance, save for some significant injuries. It's Pacheco. If you're going to start a Chiefs running back, it should only be Pacheco, and he should only be a flex.
Yeah.
At least right now. He only had 23 rushing yards, but he still was just shy of 10 points because of the PPR game.
Right, yeah. Really good PPR value there. And, hey, that could be attributed to Kelce being gone. He needed to look somewhere else, something like that. But it's clear that he is going to be their top rusher. The Chiefs weren't in a situation for much of this game in which they were trying to run the ball out. They were, and it felt like when they were, Pacheco was getting the ball. Pacheco was getting the ball when they were up 17-14 at one point, and it was kind of like, okay, we're going to slow this down a little bit. Pacheco was getting work there. He was getting that majority. He was on the field for most of that time, so he does seem to be the guy who is going to be in those situations for the Chiefs. They just weren't in those situations very often tonight. And so I think Pacheco still is, honestly, I think Pacheco truly can be a really decent flex play. Maybe not every week, maybe just if you're in a situation where you really need it, or if you're in a deeper league, like Pacheco could be a really good flex play for you. So Isaiah Pacheco is somebody that I'm a little bit interested in, and if maybe I don't know, stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. Maybe we'll see how this goes and it plays out whenever Kelce's back. But he may be someone, maybe a little trade target, depending on if he has a couple games of dips and stuff like that. We'll have to see. I don't know. A decent risky start.
I would say a decent risky start as well, especially if you are taking the risk because Kelce was out. I understand, because I think that's an excellent point that you were just making. This is without Kelce. So really we're going to see, I would say week 3, because let's just err on the side of caution that they're going to double check that Kelce's fully ready to go before. Who knows? They have extra days to get ready than usual. I was just fact checking to see how Pacheco did in the regular season. He did surpass 100 yards rushing. That was in week 11 last year. That's his only 100-yard rushing game. So it is possible. He had 830 total. He didn't really start until about week 6. But I would say that Pacheco is still worth playing. He's still worth starting. He's still it depends on your lineup, but I'm not discouraged by Pacheco. I think there's an opportunity, and I think the point that you made, and then we'll move on to our must start here. Oh, we have one more risky start to talk about. I'm very excited about.
Somebody we want to talk about.
Pacheco is likely to do better when the Chiefs do better, and they will do better when Tavis Kelce is back. So I think that's a very good point, is that this is probably not going to be the way the Chiefs perform. Probably. I think this is what we thought the Chiefs were going to look like last year when Tyreek Hill left. But you take away Tyreek Hill and Tavis Kelce, this is what the team looks like. Mahomes is the greatest of all time. How did they still get 20 points when Kadarius Toney was literally trying to play for the Lions on Thursday night? So when the offense has more margin between points, I think Pacheco will be able to get into that 70-plus rushing yards for the game.
Yeah, just I want to mention one thing and then we'll move on. Truly, Kadarius Toney, genuine. When we break down the score, Kadarius Toney lost the Chiefs this football game. I know it doesn't come down to one play, but Mahomes is hitting Toney on that crossing route, and he just bounces right off of him, and then the Lions take it back for a pick 6. Yeah, but the Lions take it back for a pick 6, and it's like, well, Toney, if you catch that ball, I mean, maybe that happens. If he catches it that play, maybe that happens the very next play. Obviously, we don't know what happens. It's a what-if game. But if he catches that ball, maybe the Chiefs come out on top of this, and they're 1-0 to start the season. It just depends. It's try again next week.
It's going to be a long week. Long week for Kadarius Toney.